Good morning all second year students. Welcome back to microbiology lectures. Today we are going to take lecture in this video formatting, and I hope that very soon we will join with our interacting sessions. Okay, now it has been a long span that we have discussed microbiology, and all of you know that a paper second is totally devoted to microbiology. So we are not going to start any new topic in today's lecture, but long before 2 months when we were discussing the microbiology topic, so we were discussing the parasite Echinococcus granulosus. I hope you remember that. We have already started with that parasite Echinococcus granulosus, and we have completed its morphology, we have completed the description of hydatid cyst, what hydatid cyst eats. We have also completed the life cycle, the two different life cycles, and the clinical feature part of that hydatid cyst was pending. So in today's lecture, we are going to cover that clinical part and laboratory diagnosis of the parasite Echinococcus granulosus. But directly starting with clinical feature, first we are going to revise this parasite Echinococcus granulosus. So all of you know this parasite Echinococcus granulosus, or usually you also called it as E. granulosus. This is a parasite from the tapeworm family. Already we discussed three tapeworms. The first one is Taenia saginata, the second one is Taenia solium, and this third one is Echinococcus granulosus. So you also know this Echinococcus granulosus, normally it is known as dog tapeworm. Why it is known as dog tapeworm? Because dog is the definitive host for this parasite. Okay, so first we are going to revise this topic. So E. granulosus or Echinococcus granulosus, commonly known as dog tapeworm. Now, if we focus on the morphological feature, so already we discussed that, we are going to just revise it in a few minutes. How is the morphological form, or what are the organism characteristics of E. granulosus? The first is adult form, and the second one is larval form. The first one is adult form, the second one is larval form. And you know, larval form of E. granulosus is known as hydatid cyst. Okay, so have you understood here? E. granulosus occurs in two different forms. The first one is adult form and the second one is larval form. Larval form is also known as hydatid cyst. Hydatid cyst is the larval form of E. granulosus. Now where this hydatid cyst develop? Hydatid cyst always develop in intermediate host, because this is the larval form. Tapeworm मध्ये हा rule आहे ना की definitive host is the host who harbors or which carry the adult form. So here the adult form of this parasite is carried by dog. So dog will be the definitive host, and larval form will be carried by intermediate host. So intermediate host, here there are two intermediate hosts. One is human being and one is sheep. So host of the E. granulosus, definitive host is one, that is dog, and intermediate hosts are two. One is human being and one is sheep. So already we discussed how this hydatid, and before proceeding to the description of the revision of the description of the hydatid cyst, we already discussed that E. granulosus, the number of proglottids are fixed. Already we have drawn the diagram also, and we have discussed it in detail. Now we are just recollecting that point and we are just revising that point. Okay. So E. granulosus occurs in three proglottids. The number of proglottids are fixed in E. granulosus, that are three proglottids. Okay, this is how the adult E. granulosus is. Hydatid cyst, already you know, rounded in shape. It has two layers, germinated layer, laminated layer, and if you remember the inner protospolysis, brood capsule, protospolysis, and if there is a rupture of the brood capsule, there will be release of the protospolysis. Okay, so this hydatid cyst develop where? tissues of intermediate host. So tissues of sheep as well as tissues of human being. Now we have discussed the life cycle also. As all of you know that life cycle of E. granulosus is complex life cycle. So it requires two hosts. One is intermediate host, one is definitive host. So first, if we discussed intermediate host as a human being and definitive host as a dog. So this is the first life cycle with dog as a definitive host and human being as an intermediate host. So how will the life cycles start? From the infected form. So the eggs are acting as an infective form in case of this parasite E. granulosus. While listening this lecture, even you can draw the round life cycle also, because I am going little bit slow in the life cycle. So while listening this video, while listening this lecture, you can even draw in your notebook the round form of life cycle as that we used to do in our regular class lectures. Okay. So the infective form is what? Egg. Egg acts as an infective form. How this egg will reach to human being? These eggs are passed into the dog's feces, and if this dog is handled by the human being and following the unhygienic practices, not washing the hands, so these eggs get consumed by human being. Are you getting this point? So in this way, the eggs are getting consumed by human being. The eggs will reach to human intestine. So infective form are egg. These eggs get consumed by human being because of the unhygienic practices. The eggs will reach to human intestine. That eggs will get lodged into the intestine, and the next it is developing into next morphological form, that is larval form. So the egg is going to develop into larval form as known as hydatid cyst. Have you understood these 3 points? Eggs are infective form, eggs are consumed by the human beings, reach to the human intestine and developed into the hydatid cyst. Now, when there is formation of the hydatid cyst inside the human tissue, इथपर्यंत आलाय life cycle, formation of the hydatid cyst inside the human tissue. Now, if you see, dog has no access to human tissue. Is it there? Dog has absolute no access to human tissue. Dog ला काही access है का direct human tissue ला? No. So the life cycle will come here the end. So the natural life cycle can't follow with dog and human being as the host. So we have also discussed the second form of the life cycle, the natural life cycle that will occur in between sheep and dog. आता इथे फक्त dog definitive host तसाच राहणार आहे. इंटरमिडिएट होस्ट इथे चेंज होणार आहे आणि इंटरमिडिएट होस्ट काय येणार आहे इथे शिफ्ट होणार आहे. मग नॅचरल लाईफ सायकल फॉलो होतं. मग नॅचरल लाईफ सायकल फॉलो होताना आता हे दुसरं लाईफ सायकल पण तुम्ही हा जो व्हिडिओ ऐकता आहात, यू कॅन ड्रॉ इट इन युअर नोटबुक. First again the same thing will be there. Eggs will act as an infective form. This egg get consumed. These eggs are passed along the dog's feces. Fine. So these eggs get consumed by the sheep. These eggs will reach to the intestine of the sheep. So very simple steps are there. Eggs will get consumed by the sheep. It will reach to the sheep's intestine and then it will develop into the hydatid cyst. Not only in the intestine, but in different tissues of sheep, there will be formation of the hydatid cyst, this larval form. And dog has easy access to the tissues of the sheep. So, even now at this point, as the dog has easy access to the sheep tissue, this dog again consume that hydatid cyst and it will again convert it into the adult form inside the intestine of dog. I will repeat this point. Okay. Eggs are getting converted into hydatid cyst, where this all is happening inside the tissues of the sheep. Different tissues of the sheep, there will be development of the hydatid cyst. Okay, and once this hydatid cyst get developed and the dog has direct access to the sheep tissue, so this hydatid cyst get consumed by whom? Dog. Now this hydatid cyst are inside the dog's intestine. And in dog's intestine, hydatid cyst get convert into the adult form. Adult form मध्ये convert झालेला आहे. Adult form मध्ये convert झाल्यानंतर again there will be formation of 3 proglottids. With 3 proglottids, again there will be mature proglotin the eggs will get passed along the dog's feces and again that eggs get consumed by the ship. सो आपण ओरिजिनली सुरू कुठून केलं होतं एग पासून, आपण परत सर्कल करून कुठे आलेलो आहे एग पर्यंत. सो इन दिस वे द लाइफ सायकल इज कंप्लीट. So to sum up the life cycle of the E. granulosus, or to sum up the natural life cycle of E. granulosus that is occurring in between sheep and dog. Infective forms are eggs. These eggs get consumed by sheep. Eggs get transported into hydatid cyst, developed in the different tissues of the hydatid cyst, inside the tissues of the sheep. Then this hydatid cyst get consumed by the dog because dog has easy access to the sheep tissue, and inside the intestine of the dog it get converted into the adult form. म्हणजे larval form जो hydatid cyst आहे तो कशामध्ये कन्वर्ट झालाय adult form मध्ये कन्वर्ट झालाय. adult form मध्ये कन्वर्ट झाल्यावर परत there are 3 number of proglottids and mature proglottids will release the egg and again these eggs get passed into the feces and again these eggs get consumed by the sheep. So in this way the natural life cycle will occur in case of the E. granulosus. Now the part that we left, that was clinical feature and the lab diagnosis. So in clinical feature you can see this hydatid cyst, most of the time, not most of the time, it is there that clinical features are because of the development of hydatid cyst. hydatid cyst कोणामध्ये डेव्हलप होते, इंटरमिडिएट होस्ट मध्ये डेव्हलप होते. मग आता जेव्हा आपण इथे क्लिनिकल फीचर डिस्कस करणार आहेत आपण ह्यूमन पर्स्पेक्टिव्हनी क्लिनिकल फीचर्स डिस्कस करणार आहेत. सो द hydatid cyst is getting developed inside the human tissues and the clinical features and the symptoms are occurring because of the development of hydatid cyst in the different tissues of the human body. And most of the time, most of the cases noticed or go asymptomatic. They will not show any kind of symptom. The hydatid cyst development is there inside the tissue, but they will not show any kind of symptom. So most of the cases are asymptomatic. But if symptoms are there, then what are the kinds of symptoms? So the hydatid cyst can develop into the different tissues of the human being. The most prominent site for the development of the hydatid cyst is liver. 65%. The symptoms are because of the development of hydatid cyst in the liver. Liver is the most favorable site, most common site. Then the next common site are lungs. Then the hydatid cyst can also develop into lungs, 25%. This is the most commonest, liver. Then come lungs. Even the hydatid cyst can develop in bones. It can develop in spleen. It can even develop in brain, and so on. So there are different organs. It is not a rule that it has to develop only inside the liver, only inside the lungs. It can develop in liver, lungs, bones, even eyes, even brain, etc. etc. Spleen. Okay. So depending on the location where the hydatid cysts have been developed, you will observe the signs and symptoms. So if it is liver, if it has been developed into the liver, what kind of symptoms are there? If there is hydatid cyst development in the liver, there can be abdominal pain, there can be distension of the abdomen, palpable or hepatomegaly can be there. So these are the signs and symptoms. If location of the hydatid cyst is at liver, there can be abdominal pain, swelling, tenderness in that area. There can be hepatomegaly, and because of the hepatomegaly there can also occur the compression of the bile duct. Compression of the bile duct will give rise to obstructive jaundice. So have you understood this part? लिव्हर मध्ये जर hydatid cyst डेव्हलप झाली तर काय काय सिम्पटम दिसणार आहेत तुम्हाला? फर्स्ट येणार आहे ॲब्डॉमिनल पेन, ॲब्डॉमिनल डिस्कम्फर्ट, डिस्टेंशन, swelling, tenderness around that area, hepatomegaly, and because of this enlargement of the liver there can be compression of the bile duct. Bile duct compress झाला तर काय होणार आहे? Obstructive jaundice. Is it clear? Now what will happen if it developed into the lungs? lungs मध्ये डेव्हलप होण्याचे चान्सेस किती आहेत? 25%. लिव्हर मध्ये डेव्हलप होण्याचे चान्सेस किती आहेत? 65%. लंग्स मध्ये जर hydatid cyst डेव्हलप झाली तर काय काय सिम्पटम तुम्हाला दिसणार आहेत? देयर कॅन बी कफ, there can be chronic cough, there can be hemoptysis, there can be fever. So these are the common symptoms if the hydatid cyst get developed into the lung. So it can manifest with cough, it can manifest with chest pain, it can manifest with fever, and the most important thing is hemoptysis. तर लंग्समध्ये तुम्हाला हे 3-4 सिम्पटम लक्षात ठेवायचे: कफ, क्रॉनिक कफ, चेस्ट पेन, fever and hemoptysis. Okay, then if it develops into the bone मध्ये जर हायड्रेटेड सिस्ट डेव्हलप झाली तर काय होणार आहे? देर कॅन बी बोन इरोजन होईल ना, देर कॅन बी डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ द बोन्स. सो इफ द हायड्रेटेड सिस्ट डेव्हलप्ड इन टू द बोन्स देर कॅन बी इरोजन ऑफ द बोन इरोजन झालं तर शेवटी आपण याला काय म्हणणार आहे? दिस इज कॉल्ड एज पॅथॉलॉजिकल फ्रॅक्चर. फ्रॅक्चर तुम्हाला माहिती आहे, आपण कुठे पडलो बिडलो तर दॅट इज अ मेकॅनिकल फ्रॅक्चर. इथे काय होणार आहे? देर विल बी द पॅथॉलॉजिकल फ्रॅक्चर, कारण बिकॉज हिअर द इरोजन ऑफ बोन इज देअर. तर बोनमध्ये डेव्हलप झालं तर काय होणार आहे? पॅथॉलॉजिकल फ्रॅक्चर. ओके, इफ द डेव्हलपमेंट ऑकर इन CNS मध्ये जर डेव्हलप झाली तर स्पेस ऑक्युपाईंग लिजन असणार आहे. अँड डिपेंडिंग की कुठल्या ब्रेनच्या कुठल्या पोर्शनमध्ये हायड्रेटेड सिस्ट डेव्हलप झाली तर डिपेंडिंग ऑन दॅट लोकेशन ऑफ द ब्रेन टिश्यू सिम्पटम्स आपल्याला दिसते. इवन हायड्रेटेड सिस्ट कॅन डेव्हलप इन हार्ट ऑल्सो. इट कॅन रिझल्ट इन टू पेरिकार्डायटिस. तर हे क्लिनिकल सिम्पटम तुम्ही अशा पद्धतीने लक्षात ठेवायचे. तर क्लिनिकल सिम्पटमचा फर्स्ट पार्ट झाला. पहिला पार्ट मी सांगितला की मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम काय आहे? असिम्प्टोमॅटिक केसेस. दुसरा पॉईंट मी तुम्हाला सांगितलं की लिव्हरमध्ये सगळ्यात जास्त पर्सेंटेज आहेत 65%. त्याचे सिम्पटम्स आपण नोटीस केले. त्याचे सिम्पटम आपण काय काय नोटीस केले? हिपॅटोमेगॅली, पेन, स्वेलिंग, टेंडरनेस, डिस्टेन्शन ऑफ द ॲब्डोमेन, ऑब्स्ट्रक्टिव्ह जॉन्डिस बिकॉज ऑफ द कॉम्प्रेशन ऑफ द पायटल. लंग्सचे आपण काय सिम्पटम बघितले? चेस्ट पेन, हिमोप्टॉयसिस एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. बोनचे आपण काय सिम्पटम बघितले? बोन इरोजन म्हणजेच पॅथॉलॉजिकल फ्रॅक्चर. CNS स्पेस ऑक्युपाईंग रिजन. आणि हार्टमध्ये आपण काय बघितलं? पेरिकार्डायटिस. आता दुसरा पार्ट असा येतो इथे हायड्रेटेड सिस्टमध्ये. इफ दिस हायड्रेटेड सिस्ट गेट रप्चर, आपण हायड्रेटेड सिस्ट आपण डिटेलमध्ये डिस्कस केलेले आहे. हायड्रेटेड सिस्टमध्ये आतमध्ये फ्लुइड असतं, हायड्रेटेड फ्लुइड. इफ दिस हायड्रेटेड सिस्ट गेट रप्चर, नॅचरली द कंटेंट्स ऑफ द हायड्रेटेड सिस्ट विल रिलीज. आणि हे जर कंटेंट रिलीज झालंय तर परत काय होणार आहे? दिस फ्लुइड इज हायली टॉक्सिक, सो इट विल रिझल्ट इन टू anaphylactic reaction. Anaphylactic reactions are life-threatening reactions. Okay, so this is the second part you have to remember in the clinical feature of the hydrated cyst. Rupture of the hydrated cyst will occur and it can result into the release of the hydrated fluid which is highly toxic and develop the anaphylactic reaction. And most of the time there can be fibrosis of this cyst, so that will automatically become degenerate and the toughest layer of fibrous tissue will develop around the cyst. Now the last part, that is laboratory diagnosis. In laboratory diagnosis most of the time जर दुसऱ्या कुठल्या कारणासाठी USG abdomen केलं किंवा एक्सरे चेस्ट केला किंवा अजून एक्सरे वगैरे केला तर जर तो असिम्प्टोमॅटिक कॅरियर असेल हायड्रेटेड सिस्टचा, तर यू विल नोटीस इन द रेडिओग्राफिक स्टडी you will notice the development of the hydrated cyst at the different organ. So this is the first point in the lab diagnosis. With the help of USG abdomen, with the help of CT scan, with the help of X-ray, you can notice the development of the hydrated cyst. The most important part that you have to remember in the lab diagnosis of the hydrated cyst is Cassony's test. Yes, this is very important to remember in the hydrated cyst disease. Cassony's test you have to remember. What they are doing actually in the Cassony's test is, in this test the Cassony's antigen, there is antigen, Cassony's antigen, it sets filter. Cassony's antigen is sets filter and a drop of formalin is added, and if there is a gel formation it will indicate the positive test. So Cassony's test you have to remember. So only these 2 points are there you have to remember in the lab diagnosis. The first is with the help of radiographic technique and the second thing is with the Cassony's test. And तिसरा पॉइंट इथे काय आहे? ट्रीटमेंट ॲज सच तुम्ही इथे काय करू शकता? सर्जिकल रिमूव्हल इज द ओनली ऑप्शन, बरोबर ना? तर हायड्रेटेड सिस्ट काढायची असेल तर सर्जरी इज द ओनली ऑप्शन. सो ट्रीटमेंटमध्ये मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम काय आहे? सर्जिकल रिमूव्हल. पण ती पण आपण तोपर्यंत करत नाही जोपर्यंत काही सिम्पटम्स नाही आहेत आणि जोपर्यंत काही लाईफ थ्रेटनिंग कंडिशन्स नाही. Okay, so to sum up this E granulosus, this is known as dog tapeworm. It has occurred in 2 different forms, adult form and larval form, hydrated cyst. You have to remember the morphology of the adult form, morphology of the hydrated cyst, life cycle, occurring between dog and human being, and natural life cycle occurring between dog and sheep, and the clinical symptoms, how it developed into different locations, and finally the lab diagnosis with the help of Cassoni's test and with the help of radiographic techniques. Thank you very much.